Well, guys, what did I say? What have I been saying for like the past couple chapters, past like dozen or so chapters it feels like? We have got to get back to Egghead before something irreversible happens. I've been saying it, and look what happened. We were gone for like 5 weeks while Oda was getting eye surgery. That crazy, unhinged crackhead could get into so much trouble in 5 weeks, and I knew when we came back, Oda was just not going to explain anything. It was just going to be this thing that we were just going to have to accept. So I'm not even going to cap, guys. This is technically a One Piece chapter 1089 review. I only want to talk about one panel, okay? And it's the funniest thing ever, and it's made me realize that Egghead Island is hilarious. So I am going to go ahead and add this to the hilarious playlist. This is going to be my first manga exclusive hilarious, so I understand if you can't watch it if you're not caught up with Egghead. However, if you are like one of those people, like when you still want to watch this video even if you're not caught up with the manga, I am only going to be spoiling the things that are hilarious. So all of the stuff that happens outside of Egghead, you know, and you know if you know, I'm not going to be going over that at all because I'm really only focused on one person's perspective in Egghead Island, and that person is Rob Lucci, okay? I don't think I need to say this, I don't think I have to explain, but he is just having a heck of a time on Egghead Island. I mean, just imagine what it's like being him and the things that he's going through. It's so funny, and I want to get into that. But first, a word from our sponsors. This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Guys, if there's one thing I've learned since starting this channel, it's that I need to learn and get better at a lot of things if I want to be successful at this whole YouTube thing. So when Skillshare reached out, I was extremely excited to work with them, as I was taking several of their online classes already. Now, you may already know that Skillshare has classes in things like photography, film, and video editing, but did you know that there are also hundreds of career-focused classes like productivity and time management? Or how about classes that focus on making you a better entrepreneur, like starting your own business and refining your brand? And one of my personal favorites, creative confidence and silencing your inner critic. This one has helped me a lot in overcoming the imposter syndrome. Not gonna lie, that has always been a pretty huge part of my life. And to be able to take a class that focuses on working through that specifically has been exactly what I needed. Skillshare has also helped me so much with my creative writing and has provided me with so much more insight in both the short stories that I write and the scripts that I use for the videos on this channel. So guys, if you've got that creative itch, or if you want to learn and get better at the things that you're interested in, please check out the link in my description, because the first 1,000 people that use that link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Take it from me, guys, you can learn so much in a month, and it might just be what you need to get your ideas off the ground. A very special thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and an equally special thank you to you for watching this video. And with that, we are back to the show. So Rob Lucci, like, can you imagine this? Rob Lucci was the first person to fight Luffy whenever he had any gears, okay? He was the first person to realize that Luffy is basically pulling out a Kaioken out of his ass, okay? He's the first person to realize his devil fruit might not be the rubber fruit. The stuff he's doing doesn't make sense. Like, what, you're just making your blood move a lot faster, so that means you can move faster and hit harder? That doesn't make sense. He blew a bunch of air into his fist and it got gigantic. He called that Gear 3. Lucci is watching all of this in real time. Rob Lucci, this very serious assassin in the One Piece world, this spy/assassin, had to fight this wacky crackhead, and he had to come to understand exactly what he was dealing with in Eni's lobby, and it wasn't easy. It was not an easy pill for him to swallow. But he learned from that encounter, okay? The crackhead beat him up with basically magic. So imagine that Lucci is the first main antagonist anyway, to really come face to face with Gear 2 and 3, and he's definitely somebody who would have been like, I don't know if Rubber does that. I mean, he seems like a cartoon character, but surely this is the extent of that wacky nonsense. Surely there is not another step to this nonsense, okay? That's the last time that Lucci saw that crackhead, when Luffy was pulling out the Kaioken and Gear 3 and just beating him up with that. Like, that's the last time he's encountered Luffy. So now fast forward to the present day, okay? Your bosses give you this assignment, which is to assassinate Dr. Vegapunk, arguably the most valuable man in the world in terms of scientific prowess alone. You see the nonsense in this right away. You're talking with your crewmates, you know, you're just like, you know, I don't know why they're having us do this. It seems kind of stupid. I wonder if this has something to do with the Lucia Kingdom. I don't know, but we're here to murder Vegapunk. That's what we're here to do. But you got a good crew dynamic. You know, Kaku, who was also there when you fought the crackhead, Kaku's right there with you, and you got Stussy there too. So you're like, you know what, we're cool. We're gonna be fine. So you pull up to this government island and you have purpose, okay? You are no nonsense. You are Rob Lucci. You are going to assassinate Dr. Vegapunk and all of the Vegapunk satellites. You pull up, and as soon as you get there, who do you see but that lunatic, that crazy ass crackhead just running around the island? You see him and you're like, I know that's not who I think it is. And you run into him, and before you can even ask what he's doing there, the crackhead cuts you off. He's like, what? pigeon guy? What are you doing here? And then Lucci's just like, dude, what? This is a government island. What in the world are you doing here? And the crackhead's just like, all right, yeah, touche. Okay, that makes sense. Well, anyway, this town still ain't big enough for the two of us. You're gonna have to bounce. And so Lucci is just ready for that. Lucci has been thinking about the one time that he has lost, and it was up against that crazy crackhead, and he has been just dying to make that right. He has been dying to run the ones with that crackhead again. He's been training. He has awakened his own devil fruit, it looks like, and he's ready. He is ready to go up against Luffy, and this time it's not gonna go the way Luffy thinks it does. And oh boy, I just wish someone would have stopped Lucci before he was talking all that smack. Oh, and also before that, people were telling Lucci, hey, don't attack Luffy, okay? You can't fight him because he's now an emperor, okay? The way the politics work in the One Piece world, you can't do that, okay? You need to get formal approval from everybody. And Lucci just straight up like, I don't respect this crackhead, okay? He's just a lunatic. He's just a crazy crackhead. There's no way I am giving him the time of day. There's no way I'm calling my superiors asking if I can run the ones with him. No, I can beat him. I almost beat him last time. I've been training. I'm definitely gonna beat him this time. And I just wish someone would have told Lucci, like, hey, maybe better don't, okay? You probably should just, your ego, it's not worth what the ass whooping you are about to get. It's not worth it, Lucci. Just step down. But of course, you know, Lucci doesn't listen, so he transforms, he awakens his devil fruit, and he starts trying to attack Luffy. The thing that I remember most about the chapter, Luffy wasted no time, and you know that was a flex. Luffy might have been able to take on the awakened Rob Lucci with Gear 4, honestly, or honestly, just with advanced Conqueror's Haki, or you know what I'm saying? Like, he could have, like with Rio, the stuff he learned in Wano, I'm of the opinion that he could have at least hung with Lucci for a second, but Luffy did not waste any time. Lucci transformed, and he was like, oh, that is cute. You're gonna love this. And he immediately transformed and just starts making a mockery of Lucci. He is throwing Lucci around left and right. He is beating him up just like it's nothing. And so Lucci's trying to keep up. You know, he's just paying attention to everything. He's just like, I don't know what's going on. I thought he was a cartoon character before, but he's actually Super Saiyan Bugs Bunny. When did this happen? How did this happen? Like, just imagine the inner panic that's going through Lucci's mind. He's trying to take this as seriously as an assassin should, and Super Saiyan Bugs Bunny refuses to take this seriously or let anyone else around take this fight seriously. And at one point in the fight, Luffy puts his fingers in his hair and he pulls goggles out. He puts them on and he turns himself into a torpedo or a slingshot or something. That's the last move. I'm convinced when Lucci sees him create matter out of nothing, Lucci's just like, I shouldn't have fought this crackhead again. I still don't respect him, but he's working with some stuff I don't quite understand. I should have gotten more information first. So Luffy knocks Lucci out. Like, he's knocked out. Well, he's not really knocked out, but he was knocked down and he was one-shotted, basically. Like, it's just clear to Lucci as well as everybody else that this isn't a fight you're gonna win, and it's not a fight you should continue fighting. But you try to regroup, okay? Kaku's fighting Zoro, and you're like, all right, Kaku, just stay calm. Let's figure out what we gotta do. And Stussy, and you look over at Stussy, and Stussy is biting Kaku, like draining the life force out of him, and you're like, what? Before you can react to that, Stussy has used a Sea Prison Stone lipstick, I think, to incapacitate you since you're a Devil Fruit user, and then she starts draining your life force. So you have now been thoroughly double-crossed by a member of your organization that you actually trusted. It actually gets under your skin a little bit. You don't like betrayal, but you also didn't see this coming, which really, it affects you as Rob Lucci, you know? Like, you didn't see this coming, and you thought, you know, if anyone should have seen this coming, it should have been me, but I didn't. I actually trusted both of these people. And also, you know about the crackhead's special power, which is he can rally a crowd like no one's business. So from your perspective, this crackhead has beat you up in a fight that you've started, and he's taken your girl. So you don't know what happened, but obviously you're passed out, so it's not for you to worry about until you wake up. But when you wake up, you're in handcuffs. You're sitting next to Kaku, and apparently there's this whole murder mystery thing going on in Egghead Island, and everybody inside the laboratory is about to get murked, okay? Everybody is vulnerable. The Seraphim are just running around, and so you posit to the Straw Hats like, you guys might need our help, okay? Just undo these cuffs, and like, we'll be good. We'll be chill. We can work this out. And the crackhead and the swordsman, they are not pleased by that suggestion at all. But to your surprise, they do agree to, like, yeah, maybe you can help us out. The crackhead turns to you as Rob Lucci, and the crackhead's like, hey, so you know I can beat your ass, right? So you're not gonna try to beat up anybody else in my crew because you can't beat me, right? Like, you're not salty, right? And Lucci is upset, obviously, very upset. But to my surprise, actually, when I read this chapter, he was like, yeah, okay, I'm not gonna attack anybody else because you're the person that I want to kill the most. And Luffy looks at him and he's just like, all right, yeah, okay, that's cool. I mean, he's telling the truth. Or if he's not, that's, again, It's his problems, you know? So Luffy and Zoro take off their handcuffs, and that's when, as a team, these four start fighting the Seraphim. And it's around this time our perspective goes from Egghead Island for like the longest time. But when we come back, there's a massive fleet outside of Egghead, okay? And in that fleet is Kizaru the Admiral, one Gorosei member, a bunch of Navy Vice Admirals, I believe, and just like a bunch of ships. Like, they are thoroughly surrounded. Egghead Island is about to get a buster call, only apparently it's gonna be worse than a buster call. Like, the situation really seems tense. And throughout the entire chapter of 1089, they're showing the events from around the world, from different people's perspectives, and they're really building up this drama, right? They're really making you come to understand what it means for everyone on Egghead Island, for the Marines to be taking this as seriously, as well as what Imu's been doing. Like, just everything is just in disarray, and the tension is built up perfectly until you see the final panel. And that's when it's become painfully obvious that I was right. We have been away from Egghead for far too long. That crazy crackhead and his band of lunatics have now occupied Egghead Island, okay? And the reason why I think this is so funny from Rob Lucci's perspective is, look at Lucci in the back. Look at this. Look at Lucci. He's literally just sitting there like, bruh, I don't know, like, what am I doing here? Like, I just should have kept my ass on that boat. I should have never got off the boat. I should have never tried to do any of this. I definitely shouldn't have tried to fight this crazy lunatic. Like, look at what everybody's doing. Sanji is serving food with hard eyes, like not a care in the world, which is on brand for him, but it's just like, he's not taking it seriously. Luffy, Zoro, and Nami are being the criminals that they are, interrogating York and making her say all of those things to the Gorosei. Luffy, by the way, is also like, well, we could just use her as a human shield to get out of here, right? I don't know what the big deal is. Like, yeah, there's like a million ships out there. This is a big girl, just put her in front of us. I'm sure a lot of us will still be able to get away. Like, no problem. Let's do it. Look at Vegapunk's got a backpack on. Like, what's going on? We ready to leave or what? Like, all of the tension is not inside of Egghead. All of the tension is not inside this lab, okay? The tension is outside. Like, they are the problems that these Marines don't want. Super Saiyan Bugs Bunny beat up a dragon. I'm not scared about none of these warships, none of these Vice Admirals. I mean, yeah, Kizaru's gonna fight, but like, you can't fight all of them. That's all I'm gonna say. If they decide to jump them like they did in Sabaody, dude, it's not gonna go like how it did in Sabaody, all right? I don't think that's what these Marines understand. This is not Sabaody, okay? That is an emperor of the sea. But yeah, it's like, you just really get the feeling that these guys just have no idea what they are getting themselves into. The Straw Hats look just so prepared, and it's awesome to see. But yeah, I will say one more time, I was right. Oda was gonna bring us back to Egghead and not explain a bunch of stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I did see a comment or a tweet that said, so glad that Oda off-screened York, like, we know that he can take care of them. Like, I don't even want to waste time on seeing them apprehend York. I agree. I do not like, I don't think that would have been entertaining, especially with all the other stuff that we have been getting. Like, I'm glad that Oda decided to do that. But there's some other stuff I have questions about, like to just hard cut to a crackhead in control of Egghead Island. It's obvious, we could have all seen it coming, but it's like, I got some questions. Look at Usopp and Frankie. Weren't they like stone, or at least half stone or something like that? They are fine. How did we resolve that? What's going on? And for that matter, Usopp doesn't even look scared. Why does Usopp not look scared about the millions of ships outside, okay? Even if they have this situation under perfect control, why is Usopp so confident that this is gonna go off without a hitch? Like, they know something that we don't still, okay? Like, just think about that, guys. I mean, obviously, we're gonna come to find out what that is either this next week when the chapter comes out or just soon, but there's more secrets, okay? And who knows if Oda ever is gonna reveal all of them, but I just think it's hilarious. Like, where are the Seraphim? Like, what happened to them? I know that the Straw Hats could take care of them really easily, or at least I think they could have, but still, like, how did they resolve that situation? How did Jinbei react to Mini Jinbei, okay? How did Luffy and Seraphim Boa Hancock interact? Don't tell me that the Seraphim Boa Hancock is in love with Luffy too. That's a terrible thing for the world government. That's a terrible design flaw. Like, I don't know if Vegapunk's responsible for that or who we should blame for that, but if that's what happened and Luffy just walked into a room and was like, what's going on? Turn my friends back to normal. What are you doing, little Boa? And she just does it because she has hard eyes and the real Boa Hancock is in love with Luffy. I would accept it, but it's just like, somebody needs to get fired for that. That's a terrible thing to have happen on the world government side. That's all I'm saying. The last thing I want to bring up, Robin was missing from chapter 1089. That is concerning because I think she's been missing for a couple chapters before this, if I'm not mistaken. I just hope wherever she is, there's a cowboy hat store and she can pick up one for herself and just never take it off ever again because we need her. We just need her to come back to us. But other than that, if they're not worried, if none of the Straw Hats are worried, worried, then, you know, I guess it doesn't matter. I guess we're really going to understand what's about to happen. This has been such a crazy... Egghead Island has been, like, just such a crazy bridge arc. Like, you can tell they're building up to something, and the climax is not going to be on Egghead Island itself. But Egghead Island definitely does have a climax, and we are rapidly approaching it, and it's just going to be awesome to see. I really can't wait to see that. But yeah, that's about it for this one, guys. I just want to say, yeah, this is like going to be added to the hilarious playlist, but obviously when Egghead Island gets animated, we're going to go way more in depth with this, and it's going to cover like a bunch of other things. I just really wanted to talk about this because we finally got back to Egghead after all of that other stuff. It somehow, with just one panel, Oda confirmed everything that I thought and everything that I've been saying for weeks. Like, we were gone for way too long. That crackhead has done some stuff. We might never really know what he done. We might never get the answers that we search for. And the way Oda writes, obviously that's okay, but I just think that is so funny. I think that is hilarious. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being interested. And I will definitely see you in the next chapter review. I guess I'll give you guys a little bit more information. These are like my favorite types of videos to make. I know a lot of you know that. I get to be like a lot more like personal with you guys, so I'm just gonna let this run just a little bit more. I'll talk. So Gear 5 also just happened. That was amazing. A lot of people who don't know what One Piece is are saying that it's mid. The only thing I'm gonna say about Gear 5, guys, like, stop arguing online. That doesn't make any sense. Like, we're arguing about cartoon Bugs Bunny being more iconic than Super Saiyan, all that stuff. I don't care. I don't think you care. Just stop arguing. That's so stupid. Like, we're just all here to have fun. It truly does not matter. The people that think Gear 5 was mid, they obviously don't understand the significance. Like, you know, we manga readers, we are of a higher caliber, okay? So we must forgive these, I don't know, anime onlys, or even the people that don't watch One Piece. They keep calling it mid. Like, they don't understand what the transformation means, okay? Just forgive them. Don't get into arguments with them. It's just dumb, honestly. Like, you remember back in the day when we all just used to enjoy stuff? We can do that again. We don't need to argue over if Gear 5 Luffy can beat Super Saiyan Goku or Ultra Instinct Goku or none of that nonsense. We don't need to argue about that. We can absolutely make videos and content that explore whether or not that's possible. And then we can get into arguments in the comments about videos specifically that come out. But just discourse on Twitter and just like starting arguments just because you guys like to argue, relax, okay? Gear 5 is amazing. You know it. I know it. It was a great thing. My crew and I, we reacted to it on stream. It's a live video that we have, the last live video that we did. It was an amazing time, an unforgettable night. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. Yeah, don't argue. If anybody starts trying to argue with you if Gear 5 was mid or whatever, even if you feel strongly about it, just let them be wrong. You know, just let them be wrong. To each their own. If they like Bleach, let them like Bleach. If they think Naruto is a perfectly written story, let them live in that dream, okay? Just let them live in that dream. All this fighting, it's not good for the heart. You know what I'm saying? Love everybody. Be goofy with everybody. That's all I wanted to say. But yeah, this was a very impromptu, like, ending. I didn't expect to end it like this. I just don't like all of the discourse is getting really heated online. Like, everybody's like actually trying to prove that Gear 5 is dumb, and it's just let them have it. Just don't engage with the negativity. Each bout of negativity that you engage with, you actively make the world a little bit worse than it is. If you approach every situation with the boundless optimism of a crazy crackhead that solves everybody's problems, you're only gonna definitely make the world a better place. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being interested. Thank you for being a part of this journey with me and my crew. I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one.